I'll call it whatever you want.
How not to fuck up your first CrossFit competition. So I've got quite a lot of things you can do. I need to add some things to the don'ts. I don't like saying don't, I'd rather say try not to do this.
So don't say.
Yeah, so if you say...
Well, it's not going to be the do's and try not to do this and the Michael CrossFit Cardiff, is it?
If you say to someone, don't do that, then they're more than likely to go off and do it. So, top tips in no particular order. The first one, warm up with as much enthusiasm and as well for your last workout as you do for your first workout. All too often you see people that keen as mustard early for the first event of the day. They do really well, and then that slowly pitters off throughout the course of the day, to the point where they don't warm up for the last event and have a terrible last event.
And there's 5 workouts on this one.
5 workouts, okay, so this is mainly speaking to the people who are doing this big competition next weekend in Bristol. A lot of people are doing it for potentially the first time, so this is just a few things for them. So try and warm up as well as you possibly can for every single event, okay? I always think, have as much enthusiasm for the last workout in terms of my prep as I did for the very first one at the beginning of the day. Learn from everything. If it's your first event, your first competition, then it's just going to be about getting as much experience as possible. So don't beat yourself up when things don't go well. I always try and stay at an even keel. I won't get too high on the things that go well, and I try not to get too low on the things that don't go too well. Just kind of, take one event at a time. Once it's done, it's finished, move on to the next one. Try and just learn from everything. If you take one thing from each event that you take part in, forward in future competitions or your training in general, then it's been a good day. Third thing, have a plan A for going into each workout, so a strategy, but also have a plan B if things don't go well. I'd like to maybe watch, if I'm on an earlier heat, see what's going on. I don't base everything off that, I just kind of peruse and see what's going on in terms of what people are doing, how they're going about workouts. I'll have a general idea about how I want to do things, but I may, just kind of see how.
What happens if you're in the first heat then?
If you're in your first heat, then you're going in and you're kind of the guinea pig, unfortunately. But that's where you probably need even more of a plan, because you don't have anything to base it off. If in this case, it's a partner competition for most people who are doing it for the first time. Have a plan, speak to your partner, have a plan B just in case things don't go well. You've got to back up and plan one workout at a time. Okay, so don't think about things that are going to go later in the afternoon, just take one at a time. Eat little and often if you can. Your appetite is likely to go on the day of competition because of the adrenaline and just doing so much compared to a normal day. But try and eat little and often in between workouts so that you can recover. Stay nice and hydrated as well as always do well. I think the most important thing is to enjoy yourself and have fun. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain, and just try and have fun with it. So those are probably the top tips for things to try and do if you can.
Now, how are you going to phrase the next part then?
Okay.
Don'ts.
I don't want to call it the don'ts. I'm going to call it the things to try not to do.
Okay. The don'ts.
The don'ts. I don't have as big a list of these things, right? But I think I try to focus on the more positive things, the things that are in your control are the only things that you can have influence on. So don't worry about what other people are doing, just focus on what you're doing. Big things I'd say is in the week leading up to, because most of these events take place on a Saturday or Sunday, is try and just kind of dial down your training, try and have a few easier days prior to the competition. Don't train like an absolute lunatic, because you're not going to get any fitter in the few days prior to the event. Better to go in slightly undercooked than overcooked. That's the first thing. And then on the flip side, when the event's finished, is have a few easy days off afterwards. And most of the time people are excited because they've competed on the weekend and they want to dive back into training Monday morning. Just take it easy for a few days. You're not going to benefit from trying to go back into things Monday morning, so just give yourself a bit of time off afterwards. Anything you want to add to that in terms of the leaderboarding? That's always a good one. Don't get caught up with where you stand in the leaderboard. I always think if you just give it things your full effort, the chips will fall where they do. So
you're form of these little terms and stuff, aren't you? Some for few. The chips may fall. So whatever will be, will be. Can't control things you have no control of.
That's not what I said. But don't get caught up in the leaderboard, okay? If you feel like you've done really well and you feel positive about how you executed the workout, then wherever you are on the leaderboard is where you are. So
I often feel like that, and then I look at my position and it's terrible.
No, I don't think about that. So I always just not even... I've done competition before where I don't even look at the leaderboard until the end of the day. okay? Because you don't want a position, a number, to dictate how you feel. If you felt that you, either as an individual or as a team, have done really well on something, then remember that. I think that's probably the best thing to do. So that's a good point. Don't leave it for.
Numbers don't define me, is what you're saying.
If you want to say that.
Communicate with your fellow competitors, as in like from the gym. You may not know everyone there. Do you know what I mean? You will know everyone.
Yeah.
Not like
what people that are coming and competing from your own gym.
Yeah, just like socialise with them.
I think
talk to people from other gyms. Although to be fair, it's literally a boat shed throwdown. Just in Bristol. There's nobody else there. There's like another team.
Yeah, try and in between events, try not to just wander around all the time watching stuff. Try and sit down. Try and recover. We talked about food. Talked about hydration. Support other people that are there from your gym, because they'll then return the favour when you're working out, and that's always good and positive. And just enjoy it.